Hi everybody, my name is Cyrus Janssen, and in this video series you're going to learn the 5 most common putting mistakes and how to correct it. Everybody, welcome back to this video series. Again, this is sponsored by Perfect Turf Vancouver, who helped me make this amazing backyard putting green. So shout out to Perfect Turf Vancouver for their excellent work, and let's get right into today's lesson. The most common mistake that I often see, and that is a loss of posture through the stroke. When we're actually hitting a golf ball, and especially with putting, it's very important that we keep that posture. If you remember back in our earlier lesson series, we simply talked about putting the hands together, keeping the elbows in, and really having that triangle move around your body. That's a very important element. You know, I like to put my putter on my lower leg here, that way that my lower body's also staying stable. So again, my lower body's fixed, I'm getting that small triangle, and I'm just moving that back and forth. And what's really important is you can see my head's not moving, my hips aren't swaying, I'm staying in that posture. What I see a lot of amateurs do is that they get set up and they look like they're going to make a good stroke, but as soon as they do the downswing, their body starts moving, their posture starts moving, and as soon as you lose your posture and your head starts moving, more than likely you're going to miss the putt. Talking about now number 2, the most common mistake that we see, and that is decelerating through impact. Okay, a lot of times players, they're getting set up here, and especially on these short putts, what they do is they have a really long backswing and then they actually decelerate into the ball. So big backswing, they decelerate into the ball and they're leaving it short. So what's really important in golf is that you need to remember that in every shot, whether it's your putter or your driver and every club in between, is that you must accelerate through impact. Even a short putt of this distance here, I have to be accelerating through. So my stroke's going to be much shorter, but I'm still having that acceleration going through. One of the best drills that I have for that is that you actually set up, and if you're commonly decelerating through, what I want you to do is just take a couple strokes without making a backswing. Okay, this is what it looks like. I'm not going to go back. I'm simply just going to push that through, because without a backswing, the only thing I can do is accelerate. So it's a great way to really feel that acceleration and hit the ball directly into the hole. All right, most common mistake number 3, and that is simply not playing enough break. Now again, if you watched my last putting video, we used this exact hole and talked about this putt that breaks right to left. We talked about the importance of keeping the ball on the high side. For this example, the high side is certainly the right side. If I'm standing here in the middle, you can notice that my right foot is much higher than my left foot, which means that there is a natural slope here that's going to make the ball turn right to left. So it's really important that when you have this putt, that you're keeping it on the high side. By far, so many amateurs, they fail to read that break. And so what they're doing is they're thinking, oh, it goes a little bit right to left, and maybe they're just going to aim an inch to the right. They go ahead and hit that putt, and as soon as that goes, you can see that that's on the low side. And remember, you're going to miss 100% of the putts that you take on the low side. So one of the things that if you watch professionals play golf, they're doing an excellent job of keeping that ball on the high side. So you can notice, even this is a short putt, I'm aiming quite a bit to the right, and notice how that's breaking down. Now that didn't go in, but that stayed on the high side the entire time. Just with a little bit more speed, that's going to go in the hole. So learn to keep it on the high side, and you're going to eliminate that 3rd most common mistake. Talking about the 4th most common mistake, and that is, of course, a breakdown of the wrist. If you remember our very first lesson in this putting series, we specifically talked about the importance of having a good golf grip, and that a good golf grip helps you eliminate using your wrists. So what I see with a lot of players is they're going to get ready to hit a putt like this, and what they do is they just simply have a breakdown of the wrist, where as they're coming down, that wrist is flipping through, and what that does is, one, it adds a lot of speed to the putt, but it also changes the club face orientation. So it's very easy to close or open that club face, which makes it very difficult to control direction. So again, going back to the first lesson, if you have a common problem of breaking down the wrist, you might need to experiment with some different putting strokes. So a good example of that would be maybe switching your putting grip and you go left hand low. A lot of guys go left hand low because it feels, much more secure, and they can certainly feel if that wrist is breaking down. So by switching the grip from, the standard grip to now left hand low, they can keep that a little bit more secure. Some guys also go claw. That's another good way to eliminate the wrist. So you basically need to find a putting grip that feels comfortable for you, that you can eliminate the wrist. The fifth and most common mistake that I often see is just simply poor alignment. You watch PGA Tour players, one of the most important things they do with the putter and irons and driver, every club is that they actually come in and they get the putter set first and then they get their feet set up. Okay? This is a really important element because, again, the club face is controlling where the ball goes. So for instance, a lot of amateurs do this, is that they'll actually come in here and set their feet up and then put the putter down. And you can notice, look at how my feet are. My feet are actually pointing left. If you get your feet set first and then put your putter down, you're much likely to swing along the line of your feet and probably pull that putt as a result. So what you're trying to do instead, again, we're looking at where this putt needs to go. Most importantly, I'm going to aim the club face first. Once I feel that that club face is aimed, I see the line on the back of my putter, I can simply get my feet square to that line. Now my eyes are over the ball, and I'm much easier to execute that shot. So everybody, I want to thank you for viewing this video. This is, again, the 5 most common putting mistakes. I hope that there are some tips in here that can help you eliminate this and improve your putting. This is the Putting Series sponsored by Perfect Turf Vancouver. If you haven't already, check out their website. Their link is in the description below. Subscribe to the channel and drop me a comment. Would love to hear from you, and we'll see you in the next video series.